Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Creations by Gwili. I'm Gwili, and Ed is behind the camera today to catch your comments or any questions you might have. Put them in the comments. If he doesn't catch them, I always go back and watch the replay, and we'll answer any comments you have. Let me check. Make sure Facebook is showing us. I'm a little earlier today. Normally I go live at 6 on Mondays and Thursdays, but I forgot that we had an event that we wanted to go to tonight, so we decided to do this a little early. So it's hi Ann, how are ya? Okay, so I can see us. I know we're on. So let me just go over, if you're new to my page, I love giving things away, and I know there's certain words we're not supposed to use on Facebook, but we call it a thank you recognition. For the month of October, November, and December, I'm going to be doing just one thank you recognition drawing a month. It'll be the last day of the month, so it'll actually be Halloween. This month I am blessing someone with a Bodabra. So to get your name in for the Bodabra, you just need to comment. Sometime during my live, Ed or I will take a screenshot just randomly of the comments. Our phones only show us 4 or 5 names at a time, but if you've made a comment and your comment is there, your name will go into our blessing bag. We'll do it maybe twice alive every Monday and Thursday. And then I wanted to give the people that watch the replay an opportunity also. So I will go back through every live and just randomly select one person that has watched the replay. And to get your name in, you have to tell me you've watched the replay. So just hashtag replay is all you have to do. But I appreciate y'all being here with me. We're going to actually do a wreath today. And y'all know I like to have as much prepared ahead of time as I can. But I'm going to go through our items and let you know what I'm going to use, where I purchased them, so that you can go back on the, I didn't put anybody's link in the description, but you can always go back and I'll send it to you or whatever. But I'm going to move around to the end of the table because y'all have a much better view of actually what I'm doing. I'm going to do a simple ruffle today, which is a technique I've done before. It's very simple. So Ed's going to kind of zoom down, and first we're going to go over the different things we're going to use. We're actually using a wire wreath today from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using black pipe cleaners. This one just has white so that I can show you where they are. I'm going to be using this mesh. It's a pretty black and gray. It's actually called wide stripe fabric mesh. You can get this at a lot of different places. I will tell you, since it's a fabric mesh, you know, it's softer than the other mesh and doesn't fray.
Thank you, Miss Ann, for the sprinkle.
Yes, I appreciate that. I forgot to mention that too.
Thank you for the stars too.
Anyone who shares this on their page, your name will go in our blessing bag twice. If Facebook tells me that you shared it, I need to hear that from Facebook. Okay, I actually bought this. You can get it at a lot of different places. I actually bought this from Mel's Crafty Mojo. You pay a little bit more because it's a fabric mesh, but I thought it went well with our sign. This is the sign I'm going to be using today. It says, faith is not believing that God can, it is knowing that God will. And I just thought that was a neat sign. I actually got it from Nick's Seasonal Decor.
Thank you, Miss Ann, for the stars.
Okay, and then I'm also going to be using several ribbons, but these are the main two that I picked for my tails. There's this, and this is like a canvas ribbon, and I got it from Nick Seasonal Decor also. It's a very pretty cream and black, like a ticking stripe, but I mean, it is thick and it's not a very nice ribbon. This one came from Crinkle Designs, and it's a thinner, it's not near as thick as that one. Doesn't have much wiring in it at all, but a little bit. But I figured this one is so thick that when you put one on top of it, it will be fine. And I liked the country look of this one. And then I have several picked out for the bow, and I'll go over those when I get ready to do the bow. But that's what you're going to need to do this wreath. Now, let me show you what I call getting the frame ready to go. And I will tell you, a lot of crafters do it differently. Everybody has their own way. You just have to figure out what's best for you. And it's always good to watch other styles and the way they load their board or their frame or whatever. You could do this same wreath and probably use less mesh with one of the boards from Unique in the Creek, and then you just load your zip ties and stuff. But I decided I have a ton of these frames, and so I decided to use it because it's very simple and easy for people to get. But this is how I do mine. And like I said, other people may do it a different way, but this is the way I do it. You have 6 on this particular frame. You have 6 of these little crossbars, and I put a pipe cleaner on the first ring on all 6. Okay, and I usually do that first. So I'm going to have 6 in the middle, and then I'm going to have 12 on the outside. I always like to do an even number. Sometimes when you buy these frames that already have the ties on them, the work forms they're called, it's weird because sometimes it's an odd number, But I end up with 12 on the outside and 6 on the inside for a total of 18. On the outside, I don't use this bottom frame. That makes it real easy to hang anywhere along that line that they can. I do the second one up, and I go same as this. I do the crossbars. This allows me, if I want to just do every other one, I know don't do this one because I'll have one right here. I do all 6 as far as your tails. I'll do all 6 on the middle, and then I'll skip this one. So if you're doing the middle, then you don't have one right on top of the other, and it just makes it easy to remember. So once I've gone around and I have put my pipe cleaners between the frame on the second row, on all 6 of them, then I go back and somewhere in the center of these 2 rings, I put another one across these 2 bars. If you just put it on this one, it's going to slide really bad or try to turn under. I put it across the 2, and I pull it fairly tight. Now, a lot of times, and I make it to where the twist is at the end here so that it's even with this, in case I want to do all 12 tails. Sometimes, if I have time, especially, I'll take a little bit of glue, and these that I've put in the middle, see, I still can slide that. It's harder to slide, but you can. I'll put a little bit of glue, just a dot on each side and kind of over this, and it just keeps it still a little bit. So that's how you're going to load. Now, this one has white because I knew you could see it. I've already done mine with the black. I try to match my pipe cleaners to my mesh. Sometimes I use the pipe cleaners for extra embellishments. Sometimes I just cut them off and fold them under. It depends on the wreath. I have taken a pencil and twirled them and left where you see the pipe cleaners, but it just depends on the wreath. If it's a whimsical or maybe like a scarecrow, then I might twirl them, but usually I cut them off and hide them. Okay, so that gets getting the frame ready. Now, I like to get my sign ready ahead of time because I need my scissors. I like to put a little bit of glue to where I put my staples just to make sure. So I'm going to cut off that little thing there.
You want me to prize those staples out?
No, they're fine. I'm going to leave them. All right, so I've already yesterday tried this to make sure it did not go through my sign, and it didn't. Ed, what are these staples called?
Have wire staples.
telephone men use them like when they used to run the wire along your baseboards, but it puts a staple in it, but it's got a raised. A lot of people use the little cable ties that you hot glue and then run the. This kind of works the same way, only it's basically a staple.
Kelly Reed said, hello, Julie and Ed. I'm glad to catch you live.
Hi, Carrie. Boy, you really took on a project with your chandelier. It's going to be cute, though. I don't do much Halloween, though. I think I made 3 wreaths. This year was all. Okay, so I have put my staples in, and I'm going to take 4 pipe cleaners and run through. And the only reason I'm doing this ahead of time is so I can put a little bit of glue. And I think I want my sign not in the center, but I think I want it kind of off to the side. So I hope I've put these staples in the right place. I might have to change and do a couple further over, but I think it'll be okay.
They call T25 staples.
But you have to have the special gun, right?
Yes.
It won't do in one that does flat staples.
Yeah, you stole.
But you definitely, yeah, I stole every tool of his I could. You don't use it anymore. He's retired. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is put just a tad of glue. Let's see if my glue gun is going to reach. And there went the glue stick in the floor. And I may have to move this to get it to reach. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue kind of around those staples, kind of at the bottom. You know, nobody will see this. That's just a little extra. You definitely could use the cable ties.
Thank you, Miss Carrie, for the sprinkling.
Carrie, is your part 2 tonight or tomorrow? I forgot. I saw that you'd put it on there. I'll probably have to catch the replay, because we'll be gone tonight. Okay, so now I'm just going to set this aside and let it dry. All right, I've already cut the mesh, and I've put all but these 3 on my wreath. Now, when you cut your mesh, I did use the wood burner on this because
Tonight, 7 p.m.
Oh, I'll watch the replay. And I cut them, and I'm telling you, I cut them at 19.5 inches. I must have touched that with the burner.
5 p.m.
5 p.m. our time, probably. And the reason I did 19.5 is because if you do 20, you might not have a full 10 yards on your roll, and you'll run a little bit short. But with the ruffle, it's no big deal. So I just started out at 19.5 to make sure I had enough, and I did 18 of them, because one's going to go in every pipe cleaner. That normally would be a full roll of mesh. When I got to the last 3 or 4, I saw I had enough mesh, and I went ahead and made them 20 inches. That ½ inch is not going to matter that much. But I did use the wood burner. You don't have to with the ruffle. This is all I had left on my roll. So you can pretty much say you definitely need a whole roll. Okay. All right, let me move this ribbon and get the wreath that I've almost got all my edges on. It really turned out really pretty. This mesh made a pretty wreath. And I've got one in every one. I still need to do these 3 right here. Is all I have to do. And, you know, I think all of you know how to do a ruffle, but I will show you 3 times how to do it. So when you get to the end of your roll, it really rolls up on you. So you might have to take something and put it down.
Kathy Keller says, I love it.
I love these colors, and I know it's kind of dark. I'm hoping my bow and my light ribbon will give it that pop that it needs. All right, Ed, would you do a screenshot? if he can remember, and tell us whose name's going to go in our blessing bag right now. All right, so I just ruffled it. I started at one end. Sorry, I just did it and didn't mention it. But it's just basically pulling it together and ruffling it to like a little ruffled bow tie. Y'all know this is my favorite.
All that showed up on it was Ann Travis.
Okay, we'll do Ann, but do another one. Maybe go down further or something.
All right, I gotta get this on.
Okay, so that's, and when you have a 20-inch piece of mesh, and when you've got 12 around the outside, it puts it pretty full. So just take your mesh and lay it out, curl side down basically, and put something on it, and then, now if you don't wood burn, you...
Sandy, Carrie, and Carrie.
And Ann, we're going to add Ann. So
Yeah.
did you do a screenshot?
Yeah.
Okay. So ladies, your names are going in the blessing bag. That was Sandy, Carrie, Ann, and who?
No, nobody else.
We know you named 3 before Ann.
I don't know. I'm about sharp as a brick.
All right, so if you used your rotary cutter, you might want to fold your end under a little bit, but I mean, I did the wood burning, so it's fine. Okay. And then I'm just putting it in, and I'm turning it about twice because I'm going to use these pipe cleaners to put in my ribbon. All right, last one. See, this probably was the last one because it is really... You could use any technique you like. If you like what they call the woodland ruffle, where you roll it up 2 or 3 times and then scrunch it and then roll the other end, you definitely could do that method. The ruffle's just my favorite, and that's what I tend to do a lot.
Ann says it's so full and fluffy.
That's why I like the ruffle. So it's 18 pipe cleaners, and you don't have a lot of mesh left over, which I like using a whole row. What?
Carrie Marie says this job stuff is eat into my crafting time.
Yeah, that's no fun. Are you working every day? You better get that cat well so you can quit. Get you through Christmas. And all right, I'm just going through and kind of making sure my pipe cleaner's the 6 on the top where I can find them.
What kind of mesh are you using, ma'am?
It's wide stripe fabric mesh. I can give y'all the number if you want it. Probably several places carry it. It's a soft mesh. But let me see if I can find that piece of paper. It's probably under my sign. Yeah, there it is. So this is the sign we're going to use. It's called Wide Stripe Fabric Mesh. And let's see, can I get it close to the camera to get a screenshot?
Yeah.
If you can read the number here. Can I get closer?
You're turning it up at an angle. There you go.
It's gray and black. If you just search gray, black, wide stripe fabric, it's actually 10.5 inches wide, but 10 yards. So if you're going to do any of the petals or any of the things to where you need a complete square, you would need to cut this at 10.5 inches, not 10, because it's wider. Okay, what I wanted to do is kind of put my sign off to the center and then put a big bow right here. So I don't really think I need, I don't think I'm going to need but maybe 2. I cut 14 ties because I thought I'd put 12 around and then maybe just 2, because your bow's going to cover up one. And I think the sign will cover up the other one. So let's put our ribbon tails on there, and I already have them cut.
She said she's working pretty much every day. Hopefully at the inventory things will change.
Yeah, maybe so. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start, and since I don't think I'm going to have that many in the center, I'm going to use every one of the outside. So that would be 12, and what I did, I took the 2 ribbons that I wanted to use. This is kind of like a sweater material, not material, it's canvas. I think it's called argyle maybe. And then I'm using this cream and white. And I thought I would do 12 to brighten it up a little bit so it had a little bit of a lighter color. I cut the longer. You're going to need 14. I may need 15, I'm not sure. But I cut 14. I actually cut the 2.5 inch at 14 inches. And then the smaller one, I cut it 13, so I had a little bit hanging out. So I'm going to do what Lori does a lot, and she kind of puts them on top of each other, but then puts one a little bit up, and then I'd already found the middle, so I'm going to scrunch it in the middle like a bow tie. This canvas ribbon is awesome as far as kind of staying put, and I'm not untying my ties. I'm just putting it in there and twisting it twice and then kind of curling my ribbon. They'll kind of overlap each other since I'm doing every other one. But you know, I can go back and remove and just do every other if I wanted to. All right, that needs to go up a little bit so I've got a little room to work here. And I think I'll keep the wide one on the bottom. I'm just twisting it twice and then kind of shaping my ribbons where they don't go down but that they kind of come up and curl. The base itself is kind of dark, so this will add a little bit of brightness. And it really does help if you prepare your ribbon ahead of time, because then when you start putting it in, it goes pretty fast. And I don't think I'm going to add any other kind of embellishments. I think it's just going to be the sign and the bow. Sometimes simple is best, right, Ed?
Yeah.
Less is more.
Sandy says I like that combination.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. Okay. And I guess I could have done some of these ahead of time, but it should move fairly quickly. I wanted to make sure that y'all could see the base.
And Mara said that's going to be very pretty.
You know, I don't do too many black wreaths, especially the inspirational religious wreaths, but I just thought that black and gray was pretty. I believe you could use a brown underneath, like the burlap type brown, and it would be pretty too. But I had this mesh and I needed to use it because we're fixing to start Christmas. So there will be 12 all around the bottom, and I'm going to wait till I get my sign on and before I decide where or if any I'm going to put in the middle. I think it was Lori with Unique in the Creek that mentioned doing your bottom ribbon a little bit longer than the 1.5 inch. Which was a very good idea. I'd never thought about that before, but I think I really like it. It helps that bottom ribbon be seen. And, you know, ribbon is very expensive, so you want to make sure you see your ribbon. Now, I will tell you the sign, I think at Nick's, I think I paid $3.95 for it. He has some very cute wooden signs, and they're not really expensive. So if you haven't checked him out, go check him out. All right, that one I don't think I got in the center because one side's a good bit longer than the other side. So let's try this again. I could, as I was going now, go ahead and, because I'm not planning to add anything else, I could go ahead and do these a time or two and cut them off, but I like to wait just to make sure. Because y'all know me, once I get it and I look at it and I might think I want to add something else. But I don't want to take away from the sign and the message. But I also didn't want all you see was black when you look at the wreath.
Keller wants to know where you got the sign.
Nick's Seasonal Decor. I got another inspirational one, something about faith too, but he's got, or did have, some cute ones. I've had it a couple of months. And you still, even though I did the heat, you still will have some little scraggling edges. Okay, we just have a few more to go. And then we'll put our sign on there and decide, you know, how many. I may have to cut two more or one more set. I first thought maybe just doing every other one around the outside. That's always an option. But I decided I needed the white, the cream color. That's when, you know, I can show you what I do and what I like, but that's what's so great about making wreaths is you just, you do you.
And Travis says she loves black and white at Christmas.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of it. I think navy blue is going to be really popular this year. I was just sorting through some of my Christmas balls and attachments and stuff, and I've got some pretty blue. And I think I have one of the signs from Unique in the Creek with the manger scene and stuff, and I think it's blue. Okay, just two more. But both of these ribbons are really a nice thick ribbon. Yeah. You know, I think I showed you the other ribbon. I did. I had changed my mind. Because when I got this argyle looking, I thought, I don't think that's what I showed them. I had showed y'all that I was going to use this one, which I thought about. And then I saw this one and decided to use it. This one I'm going to use in the bow. Carrie said what?
Carrie said maybe blue and gold seem to be the trend this year.
Mm-hmm. I thought that what you did with the pink Santa, though, was really pretty, too. You don't think of, you know, pink too much at Christmas. And then you've got people that just don't want to change from the red and green. Ed wouldn't be one of those people, y'all think? He doesn't say too much about how he doesn't care how I decorate the tree. You know, last year I did it in black and white check and burlap. So, okay, so that gets all of them on the edge. And I'm just going to leave the pipe cleaners there till I decide for sure. But, I mean, that really kind of made the wreath look larger. It's about 24 inches right now, it looks like. Okay, my sign should be ready. And I'm going to take these, I don't think you can see it, but I'm going to take these little tags off the back so I can just put my card on whatever shows. Because this will be in my Etsy shop. Aren't you absolutely could put the sign in the middle like this and then put the ribbons around. You could bring it down and put a bow at the top, but I think I kind of want it angled in there a little bit. Let me see if I know I left a needle here somewhere. Y'all remember my little needle trick? I don't see it there. Let's see if it's in with my zip ties. Yep, there it is. So far I haven't had to send Ed after anything. He's going to be spoiled.
Good thing.
Okay.
I'm about sharp as a brick today.
All right, this is inside. This is inside.
Here it says love the sign.
I do too. And then I'm going to put a bow like right there. So let's bring it down. I think.
Carrie says she loves the angle look.
I do too. So I'm going to twist a couple of these right here in the center and go ahead and get them out of the way while I can get to them. Probably these 3.
Kathy Keller says, I want a sign like that. It's red. It reminds me of a Sears Christmas catalog.
Oh. Yeah, kids nowadays, they don't understand about the whole Sears catalog thing, do they? We used to love getting catalogs. Okay, so I took those 3 and put them down. Come down just a little bit. So I'm going to take these, and I believe I can put them right through there. Won't need the needle for these. And I don't tie them real tight to start with.
Carrie Marie says, I miss those catalogs. We would spend hours looking at the wish book.
Yep. Couldn't wait for that Sears wish book to come out. I don't know that we ever got much in it.
We did. Mama ordered it all right.
Okay, I'm just going to twist that a little. Make sure one of them's at least over a wire.
Kathy Keller said my sister and I would tear it out.
Tear it apart. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go up here. I think I want it angled that way. So let me go right here. And twist this one. Yeah, I just want to make sure they're between 2 of the rings. These are the ones I might have got too far out to the edge because I don't have a thing out here. Let me see if I can get them to go this length. If not, I need to re-staple those. This one barely fits. You actually could attach it to one of these. I'm going to go ahead while these are here underneath here and on the outside, and so I don't get my pipe cleaners confused. And always make sure you're twisting in the right direction and not untwisting your pipe cleaner. I'm going to twist these. These are just from the outside ribbons that it's going to be kind of hiding, because I want to make sure when I get these underneath there that I know it's the sign. And once we get the sign on here, all we'll have to do is make our bow. And I'm going to actually use the Easy Bow Maker All right, I'm going to leave that one. Let's see. Get this down in here. So it's hid. Are we keeping you awake, Ed? Ed's over there just yawning.
Well,
I told him we may like this time of day because then there's time to take a nap. Although I have to make a peach cobbler when I get done.
Well, I had a migraine last night and I'm suffering after. And I'm about sharp as a brick.
All right, that may not be angled quite as much as I wanted it. So let's see if I can move this just a little.
Peach cobbler sounds good.
Yeah, we're actually having the Singing Men of Texas come to our church tonight and sing. And you know, I'm in the Singing Women of Texas, and you know, the churches we go to, they actually, you know, feed you supper. So I'm making the peach cobbler to feed those men tonight. Okay, I'm going to put it off the table just to make sure I don't lose that, because I don't have a lot of my pipe cleaner left on this corner of this sign.
Ann said yes with vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, don't know if they'll have any ice cream or not, but all right, so now I'm just going to kind of pull it around, pull up my mesh in places. And I am going to go ahead and tie all these others, cut them off, push them back in under there. Which, like I said, you can choose to do that when you first put them on. It doesn't matter, but once I know what my sign covers up and how much is sticking out, I like to wait. And I'm not adding any greenery or anything that I would add to the, it's an everyday sign. It's not a Christmas sign that you'd want to add the glass balls and stuff to. So I think I'm good with just the ribbon tails. See, today doesn't seem like Thursday to me for some reason. I don't know why. We haven't really done much this week. We didn't go to the ball game for our granddaughter on Tuesday because they had to pull her out of school, so she didn't cheer. I don't think we've gone anywhere this week, have we, Ed?
Her mama had COVID.
Yeah, my daughter was tested positive on Monday, and we saw her on Saturday, and I think she was worried we were going to get it again, but we should have antibodies that keep us from doing that. But so far, we're fine. And she's doing okay too. I think she's getting a little bored. Right now it seems like the cough is really bad for her. But yep, it is still running rapid around here, y'all. But you gotta live your life and just keep on going. I think Ed and I are gonna go maybe next week and get our flu shots, if we're both doing okay. Okay, all I'm doing is just these around the bottom, just clipping off the black pipe cleaners. Like I said, if you don't care if the pipe cleaners show, you could just take a pencil and kind of twirl them, give it a little bit of more interest to it. but I'm clipping them off and poking the ends back down under. All right, I missed this one. Yep, sure did. That's a good thing you go back around. I've got one right here that I just skipped over. So we better add that one. I would have wondered why I had 3 left instead of 2. This ribbon's so thick it doesn't want to scrunch very easy. So this one I will twist it about 5 times and cut it. See, aren't y'all glad I put all the mesh on pretty much? It'd be as bad as watching paint dry, huh? I could have made the bow, but I really don't know for sure how I want the ribbons. Okay. All right.
I think it's pretty without a bow.
Well, it needs something right here. If you're going to do your sign kind of off-centered, I think you need the bow. And I'm going to put some different ribbons in the bow too. Now, I have a lot of signs that I don't put a bow on. There's some people that, you know, think you got to have a bow on everything, but you don't. There again, that's what's good. You do what you like. And I'm going to wait till I get my bow made. I may be adding tails to those two. My bow's probably going to go here, so I'm going to go ahead and twist this one and cut it, because it will be probably down under my bow. Okay, so I'm going to set that. That's what we've got so far. And what I'm thinking is I may put ribbons here and here. In fact, I think I've got 2 over here. I think I'll go ahead and do that. All right, I've got one pipe cleaner over here that's from the sign. So I may tighten it a little. And then when we're done, I will go back and find the 4, cut off any extras and find the 4 pipe cleaners from my sign. See, there's one. But there should be 4 of them, so. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead. I've got these 2 right here, because I'm pretty sure my bow's going right there, so I'm going to put ribbons in these 2. So see, you don't have to put ribbons in all 6. But it's a pretty good sized sign, so it covered up like 3 twist ties, and then 1 for my bow. So if you had some little crosses, you would want to put a little cross in these ties, or ribbon that has crosses on them. Okay, let's get them scrunched up here. Twist it about 5 times. Cut it off and bend it up and under there. That's a good bit of ribbon under that sign, but like I said, it's a pretty good sized sign. Okay, let's make a bow. So that's what we got so far. And then the bow will be right there.
Wait.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to set this aside and get my stuff to make a bow. If it doesn't fall on the floor. Okay.
And then shows a sweet.
I actually am going to use, I don't have the other rod that you could put the ribbon on,
Here's
but
another.
let me make sure my,
Got the color.
my dowels are down. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm going to start with that one on the bottom. And I'm going to need a pipe cleaner, and I like to zip tie my bows. So let me get a zip tie. And I really like this ribbon. This came from Walmart for $4.98. So I think I'm going to use 2 of the 2.5, and then I'm going to use this one, this pretty polka dot, this one that I used in the things, and then this one. So I just have to decide what order I want to use them. I know this is good and stiff, and I think will make a good base to my bow. So I think I'll use that one first, and this one second. Maybe that one third, that one fourth, and then those two. I think those are the order. I think that's the order I'm going to do them. Okay, I'm not going to do long tails on this one. I'm going to do it a little bit different. So I'm going to take about a, I can always cut it. I'm going to take about a 7-inch tail and start with it like that. Now you have to put it in, and then you have to twist your ribbon, because you want the, I'm just going to throw that in the floor for a second. Now this one, it's hard to tell what's the good and the bad, but you can kind of look at the edge and see the difference. This is the sewn edge. So I want the bad part facing me. Then decide how long you want your loop. I'm going to do 6 inches for this one. So just put your thumb there on the 6-inch. That may be a little big. And then you're going to put it in there and make your loop. Then you want a 6-inch loop on the other side. So you're going to twist your ribbon after you put it down there, right there in the center. Have the bad part. You can move this out of the way. Go to the 6 inches. Hold it and then put it down. This one you won't really twist. Just put it down in there. Okay, and then I'm going to have like a, you had to make sure that was the right side. I want about a 7-inch tail. And I'm not dovetailing them yet. Okay, that's all I'm going to use this one for. So that's kind of what I've got. It's kind of an X. You got 2 tails and 2 loops. Ed, can you get that roll of ribbon? And oh, there it is. There's the pin for it. Okay. So then I'm going to go and use this one. I've not used this ribbon before, but I thought it would be pretty with a sign. I got to get that Walmart thing off of there. And you're going to get a little smaller. Isn't that pretty? Now it is thin. Doesn't have a real, not near as thick as that. All right, so what I'm going to do is like start this one here at the bottom, and I'm going to go 6 inches. Let me cut that off. So I'm going to go 6 inches for my tail, gather it together, put it down in there, and I'm going to go this way with it. So then I've got to twist my ribbon. See, this is easier to tell. See, there's a spool here that you can put your ribbon on, but I didn't ever use it, so I lost it. So twist to where the bad side, come a little bit, just a little bit shorter. You don't have to measure. You want just a little shorter than that one. Put it in and twist it. Same thing on the other side. Put it in and push it down. Now you can always do like that to kind of see if you have these about the same size, or you can measure it to the 6 here. not really the 6. It's going to be a little shorter than this one that's over here. But you know, they don't have to be exact. And then you're going to leave the good part up because it's going to go up here. And I'm just...
Sandy says she loves those ribbons.
I really like this one. I think that's really pretty. All right, I don't have another pin in here, but we'll get one later. Okay, so now this is what you've got. Kind of the base for our bow, the bigger 2.5 inch. And you don't have to fluff. I just kind of like try to put them a little bit where I want them. Okay, then I'm going to go with the 1.5 inch. I think this is kind of like a Lisa bow. I'm not sure. And I'm going to go smaller. And it's going to go up this way. This ribbon is kind of the same on both sides, so it's no big deal if you don't flip it. But I'm going to go a little shorter on this one. I'm going to go to about 5 inches. It's thinner. And I'm going to do 2 loops of it. So far I've just done 1 loop on each side of all of them. And then it's going to come down about there. You can measure every single one if you want to. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. This is a 50 yard. You can save money a lot of times if you can find the 50. I only paid $15 for this row, and it's 50 yards. So I'm going to go about the same as that loop, twist it and turn it. This one's not a whole lot of difference, but there is a difference, so I make sure I twist it. Usually you can tell by the seam. And I'm going to do it the same as the one right in front of it. So those two are kind of the same. And then make the loop again here. Just take my fingers and kind of measure. And then come down here, right? Because that one's going to be up there.
Ann said she likes getting 50 yards.
Yeah, I do too. Especially if I can get it for just $15. It's a pretty thick ribbon too. It's a canvas. And I wonder what I did with the pin. There it is. I need to have a pin cushion in here every time I have my ribbon because, y'all, I lose more. So I'm actually, I think, using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ribbons on this one. Which will brighten it up a little bit too. This is a new roll, and it came from Nick. I like it. It looks like it's a good canvas ribbon too. It's a little bit thin, but it's what they call the Swiss dot. And to put a little bit more brightness or whatever, I think I'm going to do...
Karen Marie says, I love the D-Stash group lately. Been able to get some good 50-yard rolls, not sounds, for basically nothing.
Yeah. I was thinking today, I think I have 3 totes of Christmas ribbon out there. I need to put some stuff in that D-Stash group. I'm just so bad, I don't want to get rid of it, but I don't need to store it for a couple of years either. All right. So I'm really going to look at what I've got this year, and I may put some of it in D-Stash. Because, I mean, you can just use so much. I'm actually going to do 4 of these. And they're smaller. They're about 4 inches. And it's the same thing. I'm just putting it in there and then I'm twisting it and pushing down, because you can tell my dowels are separating a little bit, which means I'm getting kind of thick in there. Sorry, y'all. Sometimes it takes as long to make the bow as it takes to make the whole wreath.
Carrie said, I love the fact that you use different ribbons for the bow so it stands out on the wreath.
That's what I'm hoping. I did add the two that I used, but I added these others that hopefully will give it a little bit of pop. And then I'm going to use this one on the top. This is our top ribbon on the wreath. So it's going to be our top ribbon. And I'm actually just going to do basically three loops. I'm going to do what they call a button loop. So I'm putting it in. I'm going to do two regular loops. Just a tad shorter than those. They're probably 3 inches. And twist it and do another one over here. And then I'm going to twist it and come back with just a little bitty, that's going to actually be my little button in the middle. So it's smaller. And I'll have both of those on one side. There'll be one here at the top, one here at the bottom. So I'm actually going to put in another one just right on top of the bow so that I have one that comes out this way. Okay, so there's my bow.
Carrie said a lot of people just use the same ribbons they use for the ribbon tails and it just blends in.
Yeah, sometimes it does. And I don't use 6 or 7 ribbons a lot. All right, I want to put it together with a zip tie, but I'm also going to I'm going to fold that in half and put it where I can add it so it's longer, so I can add it to my wreath. So I'm going to take my zip tie and make sure that I have the flat side up, and then I'm going to slowly lift my bow and get here, put my thumb on the top and 2 fingers underneath it so I can get every layer of that bow.
Kathy Keller says, it takes me longer to get the sign on, but I did buy a big needle.
Yeah, needle really helps. I didn't have to use it on that one today. All right, I am putting my zip tie around my bow and pushing it to the back. But before I I'm going to tighten it some. Of course, this one's acting like it doesn't want to tighten. I may have to use my teeth. All right, why is it not zipping? I'm going to have to get another zip tie, I think. Hang on. It doesn't want to zip up. There it goes. Okay, so I'm leaving a little bit right here. I don't know if you can see, my fingers are in the way, but I'm scared to turn loose. I'm leaving a little bit to put my pipe cleaner through there in the center. And then I'm going to finish zipping it. Now, once I got it started, it's zipping good. And I'm going to pull it really tight. That way I can really fluff my bow when I get it on my wreath. Cut that off. There's what I'm going to attach it to the wreath. Okay, so that's called an easy bow maker. The bow dabber pretty much works on the same order. Okay, I may just kind of move these around a little bit, but I'll do most of the fluffing once I get it on my wreath.
And Travis said, big pretty bow.
I hope it's going to be that way. You know, a bow is something kind of like, unless you have what they call a recipe that you go by every single time and make all your bows the same. You never know. And I probably didn't need that little button. I think it's going to get hid in there, but it's there if I need it. So, all right, now I'm going to decide what part of the bow I want. And I may need my needle for this. Did I put it up? How can you lose things that quick? Yep, I put it back in there. But those of you that don't know what we're talking about, I'll show you. Okay, let me get the wreath back. Now I just have to decide where I want to put this bow. And since I'm only doing one, I like my bows kind of up. I could put it right across from the sign. I could kind of turn the sign and put it more up here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. It's almost going to be at the corner. All right, before I use my needle, let's see. If you can't get it through there.
Carrie Bruce said, "You've been around me, I lose things instantly."
Oh gosh. The strangest thing has happened in my kitchen, y'all. I'm not going to need the thing because this is pretty open underneath there, so I think I'm going to be okay. The other day, was it 2 days ago, Ed?
Yeah.
I have this thing sitting on my counter that has like 6 steak knives in it and a pair of those scissors from Pampered Chef attached to the side of my little knife thing, and I use those scissors a lot to open things in my kitchen and stuff. And the other day I went to open something and I'm like, Ed, where are my scissors? The thing was empty. My scissors were gone. All right, let me make sure I have this turned the way I want it. And we looked everywhere in the kitchen, in all the drawers. And
Truth be known, she accused me of putting it
well,
somewhere.
he does the dishes. Ever since I had my heart attack, he does the dishes every night. And I didn't know where he put my scissors. So we couldn't find them. I get up this morning, and I have one little paring knife that I really like. It's sharp, and it comes with a little cover, a little red cover, and I had gotten it from Walmart, I think. I think that's where I want the bow. So I'm going to turn it over, make sure I've got my pipe cleaners, one on one side and one on the other, and I'm actually going to go underneath this little crossbar too. And I'm going to put it on there. You don't want to pull your bow so tight that it sinks down in your thing, but you do want it tight to where you can take and pull and work with these ribbons. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to dovetail them to where I can tell. But anyway, I get up this morning and I went, it's got a little plastic or rubber cover on it. The cover's laying on the counter. Can't find my knife anywhere. I have looked. Well, I found the scissors, was it this morning or late yesterday?
Yesterday. And
I got to thinking, okay, what else do I do with these scissors outside of the kitchen? Because I was pretty sure that it wasn't in my kitchen. And I'm bad about taking those scissors to cut like the dead leaves and the stems off my plants and stuff. And I have a closet plant in there that I'm slowly killing. And I went in there and looked, and sure enough, there were my scissors laying there where I had clipped some of the leaves and left the scissors laying there. But still haven't found my knife. And I got up this morning, couldn't find my knife anywhere. I said, Ed, I know no one is coming into my kitchen and stealing my stuff. It's got to be here somewhere. But we haven't found the knife yet. It's my favorite little paring knife. Oh, I just cut my fingernail, I think.
it's actually ceramic.
What the knife is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just go to Walmart and buy me another one. Maybe I'll come across it. We have looked. I've looked in the dishwasher. I've looked all in the sink. I've looked in the drainer. I've looked in my thing where I put my little spoons and stuff to cook with. And I looked in the drawer that has nothing but sharp knives and utensils in it. And I don't know anywhere else to look. I don't know if we got some things of barbecue Saturday night, was it, Ed, when Pam and them were here and our oldest son was here? I don't know if somehow it got put in one of those little containers and thrown away. But, yeah, I told him. He's like, I ain't done anything. And, y'all, there's just the two of us, so it's like, well, I didn't, although I am the one that moved the scissors. But I said, now, I know it, nobody's breaking into our house at night and just stealing my stuff. Okay, so you just want to go and fluff out your bow, and you know, y'all know, crafters, we fluff and we fluff and we fluff, and you fluff until you're happy with it. And I probably will hang this up in the utility room, walk by and look at it a few times and make sure I don't want to do something different with the bow. I want that one that's kind of at the top, these two, a little bit longer. Okay. And you know, you can't do all your fluffing and all the pretty stuff with it laying on a table. You got to have it hanging where you can look at it.
In the last 10 years, I don't think I've ever seen the shelf in the utility room.
Without
It's always covered up
with a wreath.
Some sort of foo-foo.
A girl's got to have her foo-foo. During COVID, I'd have gone crazy without my foo-foo, Ed. Okay. I think I have all of them found and cut, but you know what? We'll see. And I'll go back and straighten all these others, but that's pretty much what we have. If y'all can see. And I think that's enough. There's strings.
Carrie's laughing at foo-foo.
Yeah, you gotta have foo-foo. And I'll hang it up and kind of curl the ends to the ribbons and stuff like that. And if I decide I need to move my bow this way, I haven't cut those pipe cleaners back there. I'll just undo them and move it to where once it's hanging, I think I like it. So, take another screenshot, Ed. Let me be putting some pins back in some of this ribbon.
Sandy Renshaw, Carrie Marie, Kathy Keller, and that's it.
Okay. All right, so y'all's names will go in our blessing box, and we will be drawing for the Bodabra on October 31st. Let me put my needle back in there before it gets lost. And I have in mind what I want to do for November. I just haven't purchased it yet, so. But I appreciate y'all taking your afternoon and being here. I need to get off of here and make my peach cobbler and watch the Astros. And hopefully they can come out with a win for this game also. Y'all, I don't know how many of you are baseball fans, but I don't watch them during the year because we don't get the station. And I'm a big sports fan, just about anything other than tennis or golf. I love football. And I, for years, watched the Astros, and then they changed it where we couldn't get the channel. So I think there's two on the team now that I even know who they are and their names. But anyway, it's playoffs, so I was watching it the other day, and I'm a fair weather fan, I guess. You know, they got behind, and their star pitcher was doing awful, and I turned it off. I told Ed, this is just making me mad. I can't handle this. So I actually came in here and cut the mesh, did the heat thing for them and got the mesh ready. And then I looked on my iPad to check something to just see how they were doing or whatever. Well, they had gotten within 2 runs, and it was the bottom of the 8th, and I thought, oh, well, who knows, maybe they have a shot. So I did watch the rest of it, and they had one guy who doesn't speak English, and I really didn't even know him, but he's big, he's a good hitter. He actually was able to come up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, 2 on base, and y'all, he hit a huge home run for the Astros to win the game, and it was like, oh my stars. They said that and I still want to call it the Astrodome because that's where we always went, but Minute Maid Park went wild because they're at home these first 2 games.
Marie said she's the same with her Mountaineers.
Yeah. Now, college football, I'll watch anybody. NFL, nah, I don't watch much of that at all. And it depends on, our son's been at several colleges working, and it depends on what college he's at. He's the one that got us at Baylor, watching them a lot, but he's now at Ole Miss, so we watch all their games that we can. But I don't pull for anybody when I'm watching regular games. It doesn't really matter, but anyway, Astros play again this afternoon, so I can at least have it on and listen to them. So, okay, I could just keep fiddling with this, but that's pretty much it for today. So that was our everyday wreath. I think it turned out cute, and I really like the sign. I actually have another one of these signs, but the mesh you probably can find just about anywhere. You can get, now let me make sure that Argyle ribbon, I'm thinking it was from Nick too. Nope, Craft Outlet. This ribbon here was Craft Outlet. The striped ribbon and the sign was from Nick's Seasonal Decor. So, all right, well, I'm going to go, and I will see y'all, as far as I know, Monday at 6. And if I can maybe get to the Dollar Tree to get some glass plates, we may be working on putting napkins on the back of your glass plates for Thanksgiving, so we'll see. But I will have something ready, and I will see y'all Monday at 6. And if you share this video, I will go back through, and your name will be put in the blessing bag twice. So I appreciate all of you hanging in there with me. We will see you Monday. Bye-bye.